Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to go over the steps to enable the new Wake on LAN using Radia data. So the only Wake on LAN method that is enabled by default is the Wake on LAN using the Doge data. And that requires that you first collect data using Doge so that you can then utilize that IP address and MAC address to Wake on LAN. So it's limited to what you have collected with Doge. We added a new Wake on LAN for Radia data so that we can leverage the device config data, which already exists. So now we can connect up to the Radia database. We can generate a list of device config data, and then we could utilize that IP address and that MAC address to do a Wake on LAN. And we could also do a Wake on LAN for a subnet. In my lab, I have a single subnet. Therefore, there's only a single subnet here. And also, this may only work if this Doge server is on the same subnet that we're trying to wake up. So you may have to have a Doge on a specific subnet to wake that subnet. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is my test machine. Doge is freshly installed here. You can watch my other videos on how to install Doge, get it up and running. By default, Wake on LAN for Radia is disabled. So we're going to cover the steps to enable it. Step number one is we have to create the system DSN on this system where Doge is running to connect up to that Radia database. And so here we can see that the system DSN for the Radia 10 database already exists. Step number two is to come into the Doge etc folder, open up the WOL-db.cfg, scroll to the bottom, and this is where we're going to configure the Radia DSN. I've already encrypted my password. You need to encrypt your password, and you need to replace that string with your encrypted string. In order to do that, you use the encryption tool that's built in. So here you can see I'm entering my password. It outputs the encrypted string, and then you simply update that string here. Step number three is to load the module. So in httpd.rc, excuse me, httpd.rc, scroll down to the modules begin section and uncomment the module load WOL-db. By default, it's commented out, so you want to remove the comment so that we're going to load that module on startup. So now that I have configured the DSN, I can utilize the Radia data to do a Wake on LAN. And I can also see all of the different subnets that would exist in a production environment. And then I can try to wake up those subnets. And again, whether or not a Doge needs to exist on the same subnet in order to wake that subnet is beyond the scope of this video. This is simply to show how to configure the new Wake on LAN for Radia data. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please look for more videos in the future.